If you love and support Ukraine, you've been watching the progress of this terrible war. Ukraine is totally in the right, and her people are menaced by an existential threat. Yes, many nations have come to the help of Ukraine and they're sending arms, but more arms need to be sent. Yet the war intensifies, and now the government of the Ukraine has mobilized the entire territorial defense force and is aiming to put 1 million men in the field. There are many ways we can help the Ukrainian war effort, but we need, after these 110 days, to get serious. Yes, it's cute buying things on auction to raise money for small, spontaneous groups that started. Other than Van Dyke, I don't know of an other group than our own Order Militaris who is pre-existent and is in the Ukraine helping out. How can we, private citizens, help the Ukraine? Obviously, there's billionaires who could buy planes. Here I am in the square in front of St. Michael's Golden Dome Monastery in Kyiv, where the Ukrainian Military Museum is setting up relics, trophies that the Ukrainians stole from the Eastern Orcs. And the Ukrainians are doing a wonderful job. Even military commentators in Russia are pointing out that the high morale of the Ukrainians are leading them to the possibility of acquiring great professionalism in war. We can give them that extra help to make them great professionals in war. And how? Through military training. There is a massive need for military trainers. You just can't train 600, 700,000 men to fight well overnight. So there is a massive need of military trainers. And yet, there are thousands of military trainers from around the world that want to help out. But they can't help out because they have families and children too. They can't just leave their jobs. How are they going to pay the bills if they came here as volunteers? So if we want to be serious about helping the Ukrainian war effort, we have to get beyond auctions and stamps and cutie little tweets and social media faves. We have to get serious. And I'm talking about the serious, foreign, loyal supporter of the Ukraine. And the way to do that is to raise the funds to give grants to these professional military trainers so they can stay in country and train the Ukrainian military forces and have the legal basis to do that. Okay, so I'm president of Order Militaris Inc., a Montana private military corporation, and I've been in Ukraine, here in Kyiv, for about 5-6 weeks. And I have founded a Ukrainian beneficent organization. I'm also willing to found a private military corporation in the Ukraine. And but the beneficent organization is sufficient to receive funds that would go as grants to Ukrainian military units to pay these guys a salary, okay? Because military trainers can be members of the Ukrainian military if they want to sign up. Most don't want that level of commitment. Their wives, their children's, the responsibility they have at home in their own countries doesn't permit that. So if we establish a fund that can be used to give these guys a stipend while they're teaching Ukrainian military, we're going to do the best thing that we can possibly do to help them become professional military. They don't have all the ammunition and munitions in the world to use, so they need to be experts in the use of every arm. They need to be experts in tactics. They need to have an expert unit organization and cohesion, so every bullet, every mortar, every javelin will count. And that's how they're going to win this war, and that's how we can help them win this war. So I'm not talking about the people who want a stamp or fly-by-night, interest in the Ukraine, and I'm not talking like a group that spontaneously exists, that doesn't show you their face, that can't prove their legal existence. Okay, our corporation's been existing since 2016. Ukrainian was founded last week. I can show you the documents. So, as president of the American Corporation Order Militaris, we're going to set up a fund that will be transferred to the Ukrainian nonprofit and go exclusively for the stipends of military trainers. And the monies will be given to the military units, because that's what Ukrainian law allows, so that they can hire these guys. And so there can be a little less anxiety at home, you know, with the wife and kids, that their dad is doing something good, but it's not ruining their finances. Everyone knows how expensive things are today. So I appeal to you to consider very seriously, and I'm going to put a link under this video to our corporate webpage in the United States and explain the whole thing out and show how you can make a donation. These funds will be transferred to Ukrainian nonprofits, so they will qualify for a tax advantage if you do an itemized deduction. In the United States, not many of us can anymore. Thank you. Consider this seriously and prayerfully. Do we really want the victory of Ukraine, or are we just watching this war and seeking some benefit out for ourselves? God bless.